feel like I need some dainty gloves or like an over-the-top church hat just to fit the theme of this video. But we have flowers in the back at least, so that's got to count for something. Hey guys. So lately I've been seeing a lot of different attractions and events come across my social media feed, and I've sort of set out to start a new video series where I check out these different events that I come across and just try to see if they're really worth the hype or not. Because I've just been seeing a lot of influencers posting about the same events or restaurants or attraction pop up in the city, heavily promoting it. And I go to check it out for myself and I see that it's kind of lackluster. I actually had this happen a couple months ago where I came across a couple videos on my Instagram feed of this new speakeasy that was themed after a retro video store. And it looked really cool in the videos. There was a bunch of photo ops, themed drinks, a lot of decor, just all around looked like a good time. I went and had a different opinion. It was overall a good attempt, I would say, but it was weird because there were little discrepancies like, oh, your ticket includes a drink, but only from this menu, not from this menu. And we have this one wall where you can take a picture of, and that's where all the influencers are posting. And the other side of the wall is like just a blank slate, nothing, darkness, just dull. And it was almost like there was just too much room than the actual pop-up needed or that they could fill. And ever since then, I've truthfully just been a little reluctant to trust all of the hype videos that I come across on Instagram, TikTok, wherever. But today we are actually going to talk about one of them, which is Tea Around Town. Now, if you haven't heard about this before, it's sort of a newish sightseeing tourist attraction where you get to tour the city that you're in while being able to enjoy an assortment of snacks and teas. Now, initially when I came across this on my Instagram feed, I thought it looked really cute. It was kind of Bridgerton-esque and all around just elegant and charming, so it kind of piqued my interest. But I also didn't realize just how mixed the reviews were. I'm serious. I was going down the Google review page and some people had some choice words. They did not hold back. I was just surprised by how many negative reviews there were. I read a few of them and it was just a stark difference in comparison to the reviews I had seen on their website and through the social media videos. And that's why I just don't trust social media hype anymore. You know, I get it. It's nice to make everything look picture perfect for a video, very packaged, right? But ultimately, when I'm looking to do new things, I want for the pros and cons. I want to know the good and the bad. And I just wasn't getting that honesty from a lot of these videos. So I just had to see it for myself. So we made our booking for a Sunday morning at 11 a.m., which actually turned out to be pretty gloomy. You know, it's fine. A little rain doesn't hurt. Actually, if anything, it provides a little drama, and we can romanticize that. So it's fine. It worked out in our favor. It's just all about perception, right? So we had to head downtown for the pickup location because that's where the main route was going to take place, and we arrived about 15 minutes early before departure. The bus itself was nice. It was a big double-decker bus, and it had the branding. It was official. So once you load the bus, everyone gets to sit on the top level where they had several little table setups that sat about 4 people. Presentation so far, I have to say, I was a little impressed. The booth seating had some really cute pink and white upholstery, and there was a lot of trim floral decor going along the top and side of the bus, which I thought was a nice touch. So as we sat down, our table was already set up with some drinks and a little snack tower that consisted of scones, macarons, sandwiches, just little finger foods But apparently the drinks were only offered to those who bought the Luxe package, which came with the enhanced menu. So one of the attendants actually came back around and took our drinks from the table because we didn't pay for Luxe. So it was a little awkward, but I managed to get a cute picture in there with it. We did get souvenir tumblers for our tea, which I appreciated, and that kind of goes hand in hand with a concern I had beforehand, which was I just didn't know how it was going to work with the teacups and the movement of the bus. So that made a lot of sense to have a tumbler with a closed lid. Although I will say I did still manage to burn my tongue en route from how hot the tea was. So note to self, only sip the tea when you're at a red light. Now on to the food. I read a lot of reviews that mentioned that their food was cold or stale. Now, I feel like they chose foods for the occasion in that they were items that you were able to enjoy either cold or at room temperature. I personally enjoyed the food that was served. Part of me felt like it had been sitting out for a little bit, but it didn't bother me, at least not enough to ruin the experience. So I don't really think that was much of an issue when I went.
It's good. Actually, way more filling. It's almost like barely anything. It's good. Tea's good. It's cute. Works vibe. Pretty good. I do agree. Maybe like a little more filling. The flavor's there. It's petite. So good little snack.
Now the route itself was pretty confined to a few blocks downtown, and we did pass by a couple of the main venues and parks like George R. Brown Convention Center, Minute Maid, Toyota Center, and Discovery Green. We did have a tour guide that was pointing out different landmarks and just spewing out a couple fun facts about them as we went along, but I think they need to get their sound system fixed because it was very hard to hear them. At a certain point, I kind of just gave up. And I don't know if it was a sound system issue or the tour guide was a little more on the soft-spoken side, or maybe a mixture of both, but maybe just investing in some rehearsal time or getting your PA system fixed. But I will point out that the tour guide started singing at one point and providing a little bit of live music. So that kind of made up for the experience because she had a great voice. I gotta give it to her because although the informative part of things was a little rough, the singing and live music, it made it better. It was great. So the duration of the experience was scheduled for a total of 90 minutes. It's approximately 75 minutes for the tour itself and give or take 15 for boarding and drop off. I'd say our experience specifically lasted maybe just around 70 minutes total. We were scheduled to leave at 11 and we got done about 12:10. So we felt a little surprised at how short it kind of felt. And this was not a cheap outing either. We all got the petite package, which came with everything except for the Spring Delight mocktail and the enhanced menu. It was $69 per person, but after taxes and fees, we paid a total of about $367 for 4 people. So a little bit of a pretty penny. Although it's kind of pricey, I do still think that it is a unique experience and fun way to explore a new city or just get a more guided, packaged look at your own. I'd say it was a fun girls' day activity and we all had a great time together, so ultimately, that's what matters. And you know, if nothing else, this whole thing was just a good excuse to dress up.
Got a model. Pose. Yeah, who are you wearing?
This is from Baltic Born Online, and this is from the Middle East and Nevada.
Somewhere. Wow.
Very exclusive.
Wow. Oh, you gotta pose, Mom.
Okay, okay. Strike a pose. Would I do this again? I might. I think it could be fun in a totally different city, but I think even if I were to do it again here, just addressing some of those minor issues would really help. And maybe if they switched up the route, instead of always going to downtown, they go more midtown or the museum district, which I have seen promotional material for. I'd like to be able to choose between those options, so having a little bit of a choice would be really cool. But yeah, that's gonna do it for Tea Around Town. Again, I think overall it was a unique experience. It was fun. It was really nice to get together with the family and just do something different aside from the day-to-day activities. So I'd say that this one was a winner. I had a lot of fun overall. Alright guys, well that is it for this video. If you did the Tea Around Town experience, let me know in the comments below. I really am curious about other people's experiences because this one was pretty split, I would say. I feel like it had a little bit of a polished wall in front of it, obviously, but man, did people really go in with those negative reviews. So I would like to hear more honest reviews about them. Also, if you have any suggestions for different events, attractions, pop-ups that you want me to check out, drop those too, because I'm open to suggestions. Alright guys, well I will see you in the next one. Bye!